Hi, Chris here from Tech Tablets, and this is the Teclast X98 Air 3. So the cheap model that originally came with Android 5 on it, and this of course is about 130 US, so very cheap. And I managed to flash it over to Windows. Now the files, and there's a link in the description to be able to do this, is the dual boot BIOS. It's on the website there's a link, and the flash went okay, that was fine, and I did download the Windows files. Now I recommend that you do not do that. I found out that the Windows version they gave me is actually all in Chinese, so a real pain there. So I've actually just done a fresh install here of Windows and ran through a couple of benchmarks that I'll show you. So that's the Geekbench 3 score, and that's pretty much what we see on all the Atom tablets that have this chipset, the Atom Z3735F. It's the same speed as the X5Z8300 too there, and this is the 3D Mark iStorm score. Not too bad of a score really for what it is, considering just a 1.8 gigahertz maximum boost on this chipset. Now the internal MMC drive is quite slow as expected in this price range. You see those write speeds there are quite disappointing, and the 4K write speeds too. The reads are okay. I mean, 112 read sequential isn't wonderful, but I mean it is doable there. Now I did also update to the latest version of Windows, and you see there from that menu how it's slightly different. The original one comes up in white. Now the disk drive is that bwin drive that I suspected it would have been, generic bwin, and I have found out that those drives are quite horrible. Now you can run this on dual boot, of course. Just before I go into Android, there's one last thing that you have to be aware of if you are going to go this path and run Windows 10 on this tablet. It does run quite well. It actually runs a little bit smoother than I'd say than Android, but you're going to have this problem: activate Windows. Of course, you don't have a license key embedded in the BIOS, so you're going to actually need to buy one. There are people on eBay who sell them for about, I think, 10 or 15 US. So I'm going to hunt down someone and hopefully I don't get a dodgy key, but at least enough to activate it. So all in all, so 140 maybe US or 145 with the key to have Windows 10 Retina tablet isn't bad at all. That's quite a cheap price considering these used to cost about 200 about a year ago. Now I'm going to go over into Windows. I don't have a app set up yet. It'll boot me straight over, so I need to do the full restart, and I'll show you the dual boot menu. So here is that familiar dual boot menu, the same exact one you get on the X98 Air 3G or the Air 2. It's essentially the same hardware, and just click on Android there and you boot into Android. And I will show you that I actually flashed Mirek's version 6 of his latest custom ROM to get rid of all that crappy launcher that was the stock one from Teclast that kind of bogged the system down a little bit. This one now runs a lot better. It's definitely a lot faster than the likes of what Teclast have by default. I'm not really too much of a fan of their launcher there, but you see it comes with Play Store. This is Mirek's latest ROM. And even though it's for the X98 Air 2 and the Air 3G, this is the light version, it actually works just fine on the Air 3G. So there's a link of that in the description if you're interested in flashing the custom ROM there. Boot to Windows does actually work there, and this has got all the apps you need on there. The cameras work fine. Surprisingly, I thought there might have been an issue with the cameras, but they do work, both of them, without any problems there. And you can also set the partitioning if you want using Mirek's files there to allow for a smaller cache or smaller system file, and you select how much user data you want. Because I mainly use Windows 10, I only gave myself the 5 or 6 gigabyte, I think it was, internal storage option. See, this has got 4.5 free, so not a lot of room there for me to install a lot of big games, but I don't tend to game on tablets myself personally. So there we have it. That's the Air 3. So for 130 US, you can convert this to a dual boot, or you can run just Windows if you wanted to. And I recommend you just do a clean, fresh install of Windows 10. And the drivers are the same as the Air 3, again from techtablets.com. Thank you for watching the video. That was a very quick look at that. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the channel with more up and coming on Chinese tablets. Bye for now.